Hi, I'm Kalani. 6 months ago, I thought I knew what betrayal felt like. My college boyfriend cheated on me with my roommate. My business partner stole our startup idea. But nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared me for what my mother-in-law would do. "You're always so dramatic about these chest pains," Vivian, my mother-in-law, said during Sunday dinner. "Marcus had the same thing last year, and it was just heartburn." "This feels different," I said, pressing my hand against my sternum. "It's been getting worse for hours." Marcus, my husband of 3 years, reached for my hand across the table. "Maybe we should call someone, Mom." "Nonsense." Vivian waved her fork dismissively. "She just wants attention because you've been working so much." I tried to stand but felt dizzy. "Marcus, I really don't feel—" "See?" Vivian rolled her eyes at her son. "Always interrupting our family time with some crisis." My friend Tasha, who'd joined us for dinner, set down her glass firmly. "Kailani never complains unless something's really wrong. I've known her since college." "And I've known my son for 35 years, Vivian snapped. "I know when someone's trying to manipulate him." The pain suddenly intensified. I clutched my chest and collapsed onto the floor. "Kailani!" Marcus knelt beside me. "Mom, call 911! Through waves of pain, I heard Vivian's reluctant voice on the phone, her footsteps as she went outside to wait for the ambulance. "Stay with me," Marcus pleaded, holding my hand. "Please, Kai, stay with me." Tasha's voice, steady despite her panic. "Her lips are turning blue, Marcus." The paramedics arrived quickly. I remember fragments, oxygen mask, questions, Marcus answering. "BP's dropping," one paramedic said. "Starting compressions." Then Vivian's voice, unnervingly calm. "She's DNR. She has a heart condition. She doesn't want intervention." "Ma'am, are you sure? We need to see documentation." "It's at their house. She's been very clear about this. My son is too emotional right now." The hands on my chest hesitated. "That's not true!" Tasha shouted. "She never said anything about being DNR." "Ma'am, please step back. Family makes these decisions." I felt consciousness slipping away as the paramedic's hands lifted from my chest. Tasha's voice, distant now. "Marcus, tell them! She's lying!" The last thing I heard before everything went black was Marcus screaming, "Mom, what are you doing? She doesn't have a heart condition. Help her!" 3 days later, I woke up in the ICU. Dr. Rivera was checking my charts when my eyes fluttered open. "Welcome back, Kailani," she said. "You gave everyone quite a scare." "What happened?" My voice was a rasp. "You had a major heart attack. Unusual for someone your age, but not unheard of. You're stable now." The door opened and Tasha rushed in, tears streaming. "You're awake! Oh my God, Kai!" "The paramedics." I struggled to piece together fragmented memories. Tasha's expression hardened. "Your mother-in-law told them you were DNR. They stopped CPR. If Marcus hadn't physically pushed her away and told them she was lying, Kai, she nearly killed you. I can't believe she would—" My voice broke, the reality of what happened sinking in. "Marcus hasn't left your side until an hour ago when I made him go get some food," Tasha said, taking my hand. "He's been terrified." "Where is she? Vivian?" Hospital security banned her after Marcus filed a complaint. He told them she deliberately interfered with your treatment. "How did they start helping me again? After they stopped?" Tasha wiped her eyes. "Marcus literally shoved his mother aside and told them she was lying. The younger paramedic immediately restarted CPR, but the older one hesitated because of liability concerns. I started recording everything on my phone, just in case. That's when Marcus completely lost it." "Lost it how?" "He told them if they let you die based on his mother's lies, he'd make sure they never worked again. Then he said, 'She's my wife. She has no heart condition. And if you don't help her right now, her death is on you.'" "She said I had a heart condition?" I asked Dr. Rivera the next day during her rounds. The weight of Vivian's betrayal still felt unreal. "That's what was initially reported." Dr. Rivera checked my monitors. "The paramedics' report indicates they were told you had an existing condition and had signed DNR orders." "But they restarted treatment?" "Your husband and friend intervened. Quite forcefully, from what I understand." She adjusted her glasses. Mrs. Chen, I don't like to get involved in family matters, but my mother-in-law literally tried to stop them from saving my life, I finished. The paramedics were placed in an impossible position. Without documentation, they had to rely on family statements. Marcus entered, dark circles under his eyes. He'd barely left the hospital since I'd been admitted. Dr. Rivera? He nodded, then rushed to my side. How are you feeling? Better now that I'm not dead, thanks to you and Tasha. I squeezed his hand. Where is she? Your mother? Dr. Rivera tactfully excused herself. I told her not to come, Marcus said, jaw tight. I can't even look at her, Kai. She keeps saying it was a misunderstanding, that she was confused. Confused about whether I wanted to live? My heart monitor beeped faster. Officer Daniels arrived shortly after, notebook in hand. Mrs. Chen, I'm glad you're recovering. I need to ask you some questions about the incident. She tried to kill me, I said flatly. That's a serious accusation, he replied, pen poised. Did your mother-in-law have any reason to believe you had a DNR order? None whatsoever. We've never discussed it. I don't have a heart condition. Ask anyone who knows me. Officer Daniels turned to Marcus. And you never discussed this with your mother either? Never, Marcus's voice broke. My mother has always been controlling, but this is beyond anything I could have imagined. Mr. Chen, Officer Daniels said carefully, had your mother ever expressed any negative feelings toward your wife before this incident? Marcus sighed deeply. Yes, constantly. She never thought Kalani was good enough for me. She's made countless comments over the years. Any threats? Not directly, but... Marcus hesitated. Tell him, I urged. Last month during a family dinner, she told me she wished Kalani would just disappear so I could find a proper wife. I confronted her about it later, and she claimed it was just a figure of speech. Officer Daniels wrote this down. And do you believe that was just a figure of speech? Not anymore, Marcus said grimly. My friend Elena arrived as Officer Daniels was leaving. A lawyer by profession, her expression was all business despite the flowers in her hand. I heard what happened, she said, placing the flowers beside my bed. Tasha called me. Is there anything we can do legally? I asked. Elena sat down, immediately in lawyer mode. Potentially criminal charges for false reporting in an emergency situation, endangerment, attempted manslaughter. Manslaughter? Marcus looked shocked. When someone deliberately provides false information that could result in death? Elena's eyes narrowed. Yes, potentially. Did she know what she was doing, Kai? She's always hated me, I said. From day one, I wasn't good enough for her precious son. But enough to let you die? Elena pressed. Marcus's phone buzzed. His face darkened as he read the message. She wants to visit. Says she needs to explain. Good, I said, surprising them both. I want to hear what possible explanation she could have. Kai, you don't have to do this now, Elena cautioned. Record it, I said to Marcus. I want everything on record. Are you sure? His voice was strained. Absolutely. Tell her to come tomorrow. And tell her to bring her explanation and her attorney because she's going to need one. The hospital room felt smaller with Vivian in it. Her normally perfect appearance was disheveled, her eyes red-rimmed. Kaylani, thank goodness you're all right, she began, moving toward me. Stop right there. My voice was stronger than I expected. Don't come any closer. Marcus stood beside my bed, his body tense. Elena sat in the corner, observing silently. Vivian's eyes darted between us. I don't understand why everyone's acting like I did something wrong. It was a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding? I repeated. You told paramedics I was DNR while I was having a heart attack. I was confused. I thought you had said something about not wanting extraordinary measures. That's a lie. I cut her off. We've never had that conversation. Well, maybe not directly, but... Marcus stepped forward. Mom, stop. Just stop. The paramedics' report says you specifically told them Kai had a heart condition and didn't want intervention. I was panicking. People say things when they're scared. Were you panicking when you went outside to meet them specifically so no one else could hear what you told them? I asked. Vivian's face hardened. You've always been so quick to paint me as the villain. I've only ever wanted what's best for my son. And you decided that was letting his wife die? Elena spoke for the first time. Who are you? This is a family matter. I'm Kailani's attorney, Elena replied calmly. And this stopped being just a family matter when you interfered with emergency medical care. An attorney? Vivian's voice rose. Marcus, are you going to let her do this to our family? Our family? Marcus's voice shook. You nearly killed my wife. You stood there and watched them stop trying to save her life. I made a mistake. I've apologized. What more do you want from me? Vivian's composure cracked. I've been a good mother to you for 35 years, and you're going to throw that away because of one mistake? This wasn't a mistake, I said quietly. This was deliberate. You've been trying to drive me away from Marcus since we started dating. That's ridiculous. Is it? The accidental wine spill on my wedding dress? The allergic reaction I had at Christmas because you forgot about my shellfish allergy? The constant comments about how I'm not good enough? You're twisting everything, Marcus. You know I would never… I saw your face, Marcus interrupted, his voice dropping to a whisper. When they stopped helping her, you weren't confused or scared. You looked satisfied. Vivian's face contorted. How dare you? After everything I've sacrificed for you, this woman has turned you against me. No, Mom, you did that all by yourself. Vivian stepped toward Marcus, her finger jabbing the air. You ungrateful… Mrs. Chen, Elena stood. I'd advise you not to make threats. Threats? I'm trying to save my son from a manipulative… The police have been gathering statements, I interrupted. From the paramedics, from Tasha, from the neighbors who heard you tell Marcus last month that you wished I'd just disappear. Vivian's face paled. That's not… You can't prove… We have the recording from Tasha's phone, Marcus said. She started filming when you went outside to meet the ambulance. She was suspicious. You were recording me? Without my knowledge? Vivian gasped. That's illegal! Not in this state, Elena interjected. Single-party consent is all that's required, and Tasha consented to her own recording. This is a setup, Vivian hissed, looking wildly around the room. You've all been plotting against me. No one plotted for you to tell emergency responders to let me die, I said. Vivian's expression shifted from shock to rage. She lunged toward me, her voice a snarl. You should have died! He deserves better than you! Marcus grabbed her arms, pulling her back. That's enough. Get out. Hospital security arrived within moments of Marcus pressing the call button. This isn't over, Vivian hissed as they escorted her out. No one will believe you over me. I'll tell everyone what a liar you are. As the door closed behind her, Marcus collapsed into the chair, his head in his hands. I'm so sorry, Kai. I never thought she could… I know. I reached for his hand. But now we know exactly what we're dealing with. Elena was already on her phone. I'm calling Officer Daniels. That outburst and threat just made our case much stronger. 3 months later, I sat in the courtroom as the judge delivered her ruling. The restraining order against Vivian was granted, and the criminal case was proceeding to trial. You holding up okay? Marcus whispered, squeezing my hand. Better than I thought I would, I replied. Outside the courthouse, Tasha and Elena waited with supportive smiles. Dr. Rivera had testified that morning about the medical implications of the delayed treatment. I still can't believe the prosecutor took this case so seriously, I said as we walked toward them. Are you kidding? Marcus replied. When they saw the video of her lunging at you in the hospital room, they called it a pattern of escalating behavior. The DA thinks she's dangerous. And the paramedic's testimony was damning, Elena added as we approached. He confirmed that your mother-in-law deliberately pulled him aside and spoke quietly so no one else could hear her false claims. The prosecutor thinks she'll take a plea deal, Elena continued as we walked to the car. The evidence is overwhelming. I don't care if she goes to jail, I admitted. I just want her nowhere near us again. The restraining order covers that, Elena assured me. And with the civil suit pending, she'll think twice before trying to contact either of you. Later that evening, as Marcus and I were having dinner with Tasha, my phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Kaylani, please don't hang up. Vivian's voice, uncharacteristically subdued. I just want to talk. I put the phone on speaker. My attorney advised against any contact with you. I'm calling to apologize. I've had time to reflect, and I realize now how wrong I was. Save it for the judge, Vivian, I interrupted. I'm not interested in your apologies. You can't keep my son away from me forever. Her voice hardened. We're family. Marcus leaned toward the phone. Mom, I told you not to contact us. This call violates the restraining order. Marcus, please. I'm your mother. I made a terrible mistake, but doesn't our relationship mean anything to you? Our relationship ended the moment you tried to let my wife die, Marcus said firmly. Don't call again. I'm recording this call, Tasha added. For the prosecutor. There was silence on the other end, then, you'll regret this, all of you. The line went dead. Well, Elena sighed. That's another violation to report. 2 weeks later, we received news that Vivian had accepted a plea deal. Felony charges for filing a false report during an emergency and reckless endangerment. The terms included probation, mandatory psychological evaluation, and a permanent restraining order. How does it feel? Tasha asked as we celebrated at our favorite restaurant. Knowing it's finally over? It's not about feeling good, I said, looking at the scar on my chest from the emergency surgery. It's about justice, and making sure she can never hurt anyone else like this again. The hospital has also implemented new protocols, Dr. Rivera, who joined us for dinner, added. DNR claims now require immediate documentation, or they won't be honored in emergency situations. So something good came from this. Marcus nodded, his arm around my shoulders. The prosecutor said your case might save lives, Elena added. They're using it to train first responders about family interference during emergencies. I just wish it hadn't taken nearly losing you to expose who she really is, Marcus said quietly. Later that night, as Marcus and I sat on our porch swing, he asked the question I knew had been weighing on him. Do you think I'll ever forgive her? I considered this carefully. I don't know, and you don't have to decide that now or ever. What about you? Some betrayals can't be forgiven, I said. Some lines, once crossed, change everything forever. What she did wasn't a mistake or a misunderstanding. It was a deliberate attempt to end my life. I keep wondering if there were signs I missed. We both missed them. I squeezed his hand. But we won't miss them again. Not from anyone. The night air was cool against my skin, and for the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe deeply again. Not because I had forgiven or forgotten, but because justice had been served. Vivian would never again have the power to hurt me or anyone else I loved. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about getting even. It's about making sure the person who harmed you faces the full consequences of their actions, and then living your life well, despite their best efforts to end it. Have you ever experienced a betrayal that changed how you see someone forever? What would you have done in my situation?